Trump on immigration. We are glad to have a significant participation from RHC members and leaders. In fact, this is one conference which came from bottom up rather than top down. Many of our leadership members, Anil Sharma, who's sitting next to me, and Utsav, they approached us that we should actually speak on the subject, and so many people have come here from quite a distance to participate in this conference, press conference. There's almost like 25 people here from our membership. Anil, he has driven 7 to 8 hours from Charlotte to attend this. So obviously, it's a very important issue. Sitting next to me is Manaswi, my daughter. She's also RSC India ambassador. And we have Bala Sahib. He is from Mumbai. He is covering the RSC operations in India. And we have Hemant Bhatt sitting next to me. He proudly always wears the Make America Great Again sign. Was very active in our campaign in New Jersey, and also in a campaign in enrolling new members for a Republican Hindu Coalition. We have next to Amit is Utsav Chakrabarti. He's a member of the Leadership Council of RHC. So I think we have introduced everybody. Okay, so let me begin by stating that RHC fully supports the executive order issued by President Trump on the issue of immigration, temporary ban with respect to people from 7 named countries. We, in fact, encourage the administration to add a few more countries in that list. Certainly, Pakistan is one of them. The others are also should be included, for example, Saudi Arabia. I also understand that there is an argument on the against including people from the other countries, as I've pointed out. And that argument is that the 7 countries that have been named, except for Iran, where there is a functioning government, the other 6 do not really have a functioning government. So therefore, the extreme vetting which is required is not quite possible. So that's why those countries are named the way they have been named. And supposedly in Saudi Arabia and Pakistan and Afghanistan, this extreme vetting could take place. So therefore, they have not been included, but that is under consideration whether the administration will include those countries as well. It's Republican Hindu Coalition's position that Pakistan certainly should be included in that list. Now, there was, and maybe still, some inconvenience which has been caused by this order, but we have to remember the overall scope of things. On that Saturday after the executive order was issued, there were 325,000 people that entered the United States. Out of those, some 180 were detained. So you can figure out what that percentage is. And we should remember that we have a war upon us, not declared by us, but radical Islamic terrorists have declared a war on the rest of the civilization. And when there is a war, there are some inconveniences. This is whatever detainees and some commotion that occurred at the airport and overblown by the press, that is such a small inconvenience for a massive action which needs to take place in winning this war. The duty of the president, the first and foremost duty of any president, and our president, President Trump, is to safeguard the lives of its citizens. That is, we have to safeguard the lives of Americans. That is the absolute first priority. And in that respect, in a war, by the way, there are always some casualties, innocent casualties. How many innocent casualties were there? I mean, this is not even casualties. These are just some inconvenience. How many people died, innocent people who didn't really have anything to do with the war in Second World War, First World War? I mean, this has to be treated as that we have a war upon us declared by Al-Qaeda, by ISIL, by radical Islamic terrorists. So, and I must also say, this is a war in which Hindu Americans are a double target. They have two targets on their head as compared to just Americans or just Hindus. I remember, and there was kind of sort of an unfortunate time when there was the Mumbai terror attack in progress. I had a relative that was in the Oberoi hotel. There were two hotels that were under siege. That was the Taj Hotel, and the second was the Oberoi. So I was actually talking to my relative while the second Oberoi Hotel was under siege and people were hiding, trying to save their lives. So we all know what was happening in the Mumbai terror attack. There was, the terrorists will go from room to room and identify those people, sometimes have them stripped down. If you are an American, bring your passport, show your passport. Okay, if you are an American, that's one target. On top of that, if you are a Hindu, you are an American, you're gone. You're a target. You'll be eliminated, you'll be shot. So I always say that as Hindu Americans, we have two targets on our heads. One of the most important planks of RHC, Republican Hindu Coalition, we have 4 Fs. The fourth F in our 4 Fs is foreign policy, a strong stand against radical Islamic terrorism. We must have a strong foreign policy. And we are glad, we are delighted to have a president who just doesn't talk during campaign and then changes his mind or her mind during when he becomes or she becomes president. So here, President Trump is keeping all his promises, whatever he has promised, one by one. He is, like TPP. He said he will cancel TPP, the first action, cancel TPP. Mexico City order, putting a freeze on hiring of new employees in the federal government. So, all that. And then this is also, he talked about exactly what he would do during the campaign, so it should not be a big surprise that this executive order took place. And once again, we are in a war, and the action taken is very appropriate, and perhaps it should be expanded to include additional countries. So that's my opening statement, and we will open it up for questioning. Go ahead. Yes.
Hi, I'm Isha Sarai from Voice of America. Thank you for having us all here tonight. We've heard a few rumors that President Trump has intentions of maybe limiting H-1B visas to the states, or regulating, capping how much money people can make on H-1B visas. I'm sure a lot of us in this room came to this country on H-1B visas. Can you speak a little bit to how the Republican Hindu Coalition will feel about this, depending on what decision he makes on it?
Well, first of all, what I will tell you is that this is all speculation. There is nothing really going on the H-1 front at this point in time. And there was only a bill by a Democrat congresswoman from California that has been reintroduced. I don't even know whether it's been reintroduced or they're just thinking about reintroducing that, and there is provisions in that which might be debated for a long time to come. This is really not a priority for the Trump administration, and I will once again, I've done this before, I'll assure people, particularly from India, and the people who are here in the United States on H-1 visas, there is nothing to worry about. This is fear-mongering. There is really nothing to be afraid of. The U.S. economy under our new president is going to grow at the rate of 4 to 5% per year. That requires tons and tons of IT workers, particularly those who are on H-1 visa. Now, sure, we are for America First. We should train many more people in the IT field in the United States. That will take some time. President is a businessman. U.S. Chamber of Commerce is totally in favor of supporting the H-1 program, L-1 program. I will remind people of S-744 bill that was introduced under President Obama. It was really being pushed. That would have affected so many people, over like 250,000 people on L-1 visa. And the current status with the H-1 is pretty pitiful, in the sense that there are almost 1 million people on H-1 visas right now whose petitions for green card have been approved, but the waiting time is 50 to 75 years. I mean, that's what the current condition is. And I say there will be a need for more number of H-1 visa holders, even from India. Of course, there needs to be a significant increase in the number of American IT professionals, and that will take some time to happen. But in my estimation, the number of people on H-1 from India particularly is going to increase, and we certainly will push for that. And also the countrywide system which we have, countrywide quota, that will be eliminated. There is already a talk about that where you're born, it should not be country-based. So that will be a big relief for those people who are otherwise waiting 50 to 75 years to get their green cards. Yes?
Kumar, do you expect early visit by Indian Prime Minister Modi to visit?
I don't think that's a very high priority right now. if we have, and we are getting there, Democrats are hurting the process of getting the cabinet formed, so they're slowing it down. But President Trump is going to have a very competent team around him, and as long as proper actions are taking place, policies are getting formulated, programs are getting initiated, it's really not that necessary to have the meet between the two leaders who otherwise are on the same plane in terms of thinking. And at some point in time, I expect within a year, the two leaders will meet. What I don't think is that big of a priority. Yes.
So, are you saying that this executive order on supposed H-1B visa doesn't exist, and that Indians don't have to worry about anything?
There is no executive order issued on H-1 visas. There is none.
Issued, but it's in the pipeline.
That's a pure imagination. There is no talk of an executive order on H-1 visa in contemplation, and there is no such thing is coming out. You should just follow. Everybody needs to calm down and have patience. Look at the facts. There is too many rumors are floating around. We were just talking before this press conference. There is a Patel brothers, Muffat Patel. He's a good friend of mine. He's got stores all over the country, and I must have gotten like 20 messages repeated over and over again that United States or DHS is inside these grocery stores of Muffat Patel, and they are checking everyone for their status and picking them up and shipping them out. I mean, hearsay and hearsay and hearsay, and it's just rumors are getting spread. There's nothing like that is happening. What is to be expected, just follow what he said during the campaign. Yes, the fraud, small portion, there is let's say some abuse and fraud in H-1 visa program. We all know that. And that will be looked at. And as far as the criminal element of illegal immigrants is concerned, that will be enforced pretty severely, that those people will be deported. And also the sanctuary city policy, that's already under talk. He's during the campaign has said that he's going to eliminate support. Federal dollars should not go to sanctuary cities, and that will come down. I don't know whether this already come down on an executive order, but that will happen. Yes. Go ahead, Lalit.
According to some figures, there are 400,000 undocumented illegal Indians in America. This order is going to affect them. You are in favor of this travel ban and general sort of clampdown on illegal immigration. Do you think these people have reasons to worry? Because a lot of Indian Americans say that they are worried now in this climate of fear.
Okay, first of all, I don't know where that number comes from. Frankly, I don't know of any one single illegal Indian American who's illegal. I just don't know anybody. I mean, I do move around in the community. I don't know of anyone. I don't know what that number is. And if there are any, I'm sure probably there are some, but I don't know whether it's 100, whether it's 1,000. I don't know what that number is. And if you are illegal, you should worry about it. particularly if you have a felony or if you have done something wrong, you should worry about it. Go ahead.
Yeah, you said that more Indians would be required, more Indian IT workers would be required in the US as the American economy grows further. So do you expect an increase in the number of H-1B visas?
I think it will become pretty apparent as the economy grows fast, and of course there will be talks among the business community, the Chamber of Commerce, and that it might come to that number may have to be increased, or some other program. That is, we can't let our economy stifle because of lack of talent, and President Trump clearly understands that.
And also, I missed your opening remarks, but there's some concern in India that since Pakistan is not in this list, might be Trump administration is following the same track with the previous administration, leaving Pakistan aside.
That's again, a lot of speculation. I can tell you this, that President Trump is not a politician. He does what he says. So he is not going to have Pakistan say one thing and do something else. So if Pakistan is going to say, okay, I'm going to be fighting terrorists and commit to that, and instead they do something else, they'll be called to the carpet so quick that you won't believe it. It's going to be very quick action. Like our Congressman Ted Poe, Judge Poe always says, Pakistan is the Benedict Arnold of U.S.-Pakistan relationship. So that Benedict Arnold relationship between Pakistan and the United States is not going to exist under a Trump administration.
But how do you explain the phenomenon that Pakistan is not in the first list itself? As you yourself know that most of the world's dangerous terrorists have been found inside Pakistan.
Well, there is an argument. Okay, first of all, we should look at where that list came from. This list is, I believe, already approved by Congress in some other action. And it was proposed, the same 7 were listed in some congressional action and also were proposed by Obama and maybe acted upon for maybe 6 months or so, if I understand correctly. So that list already existed. So that was easy to just take that list and move forward. And also there is something else I would like to add to this. A lot of people speculate about lots of different things. We do not have the benefit that a president, and our president, Trump, has benefit of national intelligence briefing as to what he's being briefed on every morning, or sometimes twice a day. So whatever is going on with respect to that, we are, otherwise we'd be just speculating. He has a lot more information than we do. So, but anyway, going back to Pakistan, we certainly, RHC certainly pushes for that, and it is under consideration. And I already gave you the other side of the argument, because some people will say Pakistan has a functioning government. So the extreme vetting, that's really the ultimate goal. After 90 days of this temporary ban, there is going to be procedures adopted that makes the extreme vetting possible. So if Pakistan can do it now, already, maybe there are conversations going on with respect to that. If they do not satisfy our intelligence services, then they will be added. It's our belief that Pakistan always is the Benedict Arnold, 2 faces. Yes.
Namaste, Ravia. Thank you very much for giving us this opportunity, and congratulations on your hard work. I was on H1. I got green card only last year in around October after like 10 years. So going through all the wait and going through successfully.
You're lucky.
Yeah,
10 years.
I was lucky. I know many my friends are also like worried, but I can say I'm not worried at all. I haven't gotten the chance to vote for Trump yet, but next time maybe. I'm not worried. I'm completely confident on the President Trump's moves, that he is focusing on the Islamic terrorism, and I feel completely safe. I call upon my friends also to not to worry and fall into the panics. Especially, don't watch CNN 24 hours. Your mind is going to change.
Please identify yourself.
My name is Krishna Guripati. I'm a worker at in the federal office, chief control of currency. I'm a IT as everyone knows. So having said that, I have two quick questions, if I may. One is regarding the Pakistan extreme wedding. There are certain Hindu minorities in Pakistan who expressed certain doubts in terms of how they will be treated. If you can address on that one and also represent that to the government if possible. And the second one is we're completely confident and trust on President Trump and the officials he selected. So in terms of trickling down that information, that orders and the intent to the low level agents and officers, how can we ensure that the intent stays the same and not something else?
Okay, so two questions. One is that is either you convert or you die. So I think there is a lot of conversion has taken place, and who knows, maybe there is masses of Hindus in Pakistan have been massacred. RHC takes a very strong position with respect to that. Like I said, Trump government, Trump Sarkar, is not going to allow a lot of double standard. So we'll be calling that to the attention of Trump Sarkar, and appropriate action will be taken. The second question which you have is, how does it filter down the overall policy to the essentially the officers, operators in the field downstream? Okay, that's a good point you make, and I'm sure that will be looked at, considered by the administration. But it's a good point you make, and we will pass on that message.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
So you talked a lot about speculation, a lot about fear-mongering. I know that to us, to you, it is very clear who is Hindu, who is Muslim, who is from India, who is from Pakistan. But I think at least we can speak to the bigger Trump constituency in the states that when they see a brown person, they see a brown person. What can you say to all of the Hindus, all of the Desis, all of the Indians who are facing TSA agents in airports who may not know the difference, who are facing people in their communities who may not know the difference? We're going to be facing a lot of animosity in the next 4 years. How do you plan to address that?
I don't think there has been any action or anything with respect to that. And so far, when people say something like this is happening, I said produce evidence, not hearsay.
I think
Okay.
you're lucky not to have experienced it, because I know a lot of people, including myself personally, have felt a lot of this recently.
Well, I travel all the time. I have not. I have seen a lot of my friends. I've not seen that. So maybe this is perceived. You see, right now, there is no action with respect to illegal immigrants. The only action which is called out for at the moment is for those who have a criminal record. that does not make a difference what color, what religion, where you are. If you have a criminal record, you're going to be taken out, sent back. Other than that, with respect to even all the other, let's say if there are 11 million, there are 2 million who have this criminal record, there are 9 million other people who are otherwise law-abiding citizens, even though undocumented. There really has not been any issue, any particular policy which has been declared on that.
I agree that there's no policy, but I think that, again, like I said, TSA agents in airports and people in the communities, people who may be serving you in shops, have cultivated opinions because of the rhetoric of this campaign.
Well, in here, can I ask anybody in this audience here with the RHC members, have they experienced anything from TSA?
No, the opposite actually. Never experienced that. And my name is Ajay Kuthani. I've never experienced that. And when I go through the airport with my girlfriend, who is American, she gets stopped every time. I never get stopped. That's good.
Yes.
Yesterday morning there was a press conference by and two of them said that and named Republican Hindu Coalition as such, that Republican Hindu Coalition is trying to divide the community, Hindu community, and RHC does represent Hindu Americans. I want to have your reaction on that.
Well, I know the two congressmen. Of course, they are from the opposition. There is politics. You know, we have concrete data at this point in time. A poll, a very scientific poll was conducted that's available from a market research firm that showed that tables turned in this election. In Hindu Americans, previously 2008 and 2012, only 16% voted for Republicans. This time around, 64.9% of Hindu Americans voted for the Republican Party and Trump. So that will tell you as to what is the support level for RHC in the community.
Can you share that?
Sure.
Who did this survey? Because I've been trying to do research on this. The other side says that the Indian American community largely voted Democrat, as it has over the years.
Well, we'll give you a report. And the methodology and all, how it was done, just like all big national polls are conducted. So you'll get a copy of that. We'll give you that, make that available. I think it's the overall accuracy of that thing is like 4%. But if you take either way, you can take it down by 4%, it'll be like 60.9% instead of 64, or it could be 68.9% instead of 64.9%.
Is it done by Z News?
They're marketing research, not by news. They have a marketing search firm. Yes.
I have one more question. On October 15th event in which President Trump and address the community, that was a charity event. And do you know who are the organizations which received the charity money raised from that event?
At this point, no. At this point, it's still being considered as to what will be the best. We're having a little difficulty in identifying who will be the right people to receive that.
But it will be Kashmiris and the Bangladeshi victims of the event.
That's correct.
And how much money was raised?
250,000.
Every money will go to that.
That's correct. Yes.
Hi, question, just a point of clarification on the H-1B issue. So the original bill that was introduced on January 4th, 2017, regarding the H-1B wage requirements was from Darrell Issa, who's a Republican congressman from California, as you know. and the Democratic congresswoman actually introduced that bill a week after General ISIS. So just a point of clarification regarding the wage requirements on H-1B. Two-part question for you on H-1B. Regarding what would your advice be to Indian companies who are facing this issue now of H-1B? Second part question is, I know the Trump administration is now looking at different candidates on who will be the next U.S. ambassador. What are the requirements or qualifications do you feel that a U.S. ambassador to India should have?
Okay. First of all, Indian companies operating in United States, IT firms. So, first advice to them from RHC, from me, would be to tighten up any abuse that might be there, because this is going to be a strict policing, and don't get into that kind of a mess, because we know that there is some abuse then which could be highlighted. Other than that, they should not really be concerned, and as I've stated, that the need for skilled talent in the United States is going to grow. Also, I do know that these IT companies operating in the United States, Indian IT companies, I've met quite a few of them. They want to hire Americans. They are even for training, starting institutes, and train Americans, citizens, into learning more of the IT work. So that's my answer to your first question. And the second question for ambassador, U.S. ambassador to India, should be someone who is knowledgeable about both countries, preferably in Indian American, and who takes this level of friendship which exists right now. Remind you that President Trump, when he was a candidate Trump, in RHC's October 15th rally, called Prime Minister Modi to be a great Prime Minister. He didn't do that with any other world leader. It was only with respect to Prime Minister Modi. Called out India as that we will be best friends. So obviously you could read from there that Trump administration wants to be very pro-India.
But as you know, Mr. Kumar, the top Indian companies who do IT outsourcing, many American companies depend on those Indian companies as a source of, profitability and their bottom line. So explain to me a little bit, like, how does that work? Because you
Well,
have the U.S. companies who are depending on the Indian IT companies, and the Indian IT companies, of course, we all agree they must do more here. But talk to me, extrapolate a little bit more.
Okay. Well, first of all, I am not in the IT business myself, so to intricate detail of that, I can't tell you. Okay. Generally, overall, I could describe to you. Of course, there is some also overall work which gets sent out from as a contract rather than having employment here. There's work which is sent out to contractors, IT companies, whether it's in India or Philippines or wherever. So that work is given out there. So, but here, what we are talking about is there's definitely a need for IT professionals in the United States. It's very clear. And with a growing economy, that need is going to become bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay? So, in order to grow the economy, you don't want to stifle the economy. So, everything is going to be great. I think even with respect to, like I said, I have met two of the top IT companies